Now it's time to be dangerous. Now it's time to get risky. Now it's time to truly find out what you're made of and what you could achieve. Now it's time to truly find out how many lives you can impact. Now it's time to find out what you were destined to become.
Oh my God. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Raw Minds, podcast on men's mental health where we try to shatter the silence, break stigma. I'm your host, Anthony.
And I'm Eric.
And we are Raw Minds.
Hell yeah. Way to start it off, brother.
Fucking shit the bed on that one.
That's all good. That's how we roll.
Yeah, man.
So, fucking yesterday we did a Wicked podcast. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday.
It was
right?
yesterday.
Yeah,
Great episode.
Great episode with Dad Talks. Check those guys out, man. Find it in the last description.
Yeah,
Good
man.
group of guys, man. And they have their first video podcast that came out too, man. That's fucking awesome. So, fuck yeah, congratulations to them.
Yeah, man.
I'll tell you this, man. I am fucking beat moving into this new place. I'm finally done.
You're done?
Yeah, I moved everything. I cleaned up the place. Now it's a matter of...
Are you all unpacked at your new place?
Fuck no, man. I just got I got my room unpacked. I got just the podcast, like my setup there. That's all unpacked. But other than that, fuck, it's a mess, man. I gotta...
Living out of boxes.
You know it, man. You know
Gotta love it, buddy. Gotta love it.
It'll probably take me a couple weeks to finally get all... And then I gotta do my cloud ceiling again. I gotta get all that set up, man. So
And you're getting a couch? You're gonna set up a couch?
Yeah, I'm gonna change it all up. So I'll be relaxing on a couch. We'll have like the big screen behind me with our logo and shit. It's gonna look good, man.
I know. I should set something up back here, man. Fuck, I totally could do it.
Why
Maybe
not?
I will.
Yeah, man.
Maybe I will.
Fuck yeah, dude. Get the logo in the background. I was thinking about even, that LC, whatever. This is a shout out to that guy, the lights.
I was literally watching it earlier today, and a guy ordered his logo, and it cost him $250. Now I'm guessing that's American.
Yeah,
but he ordered a sign from them, and I followed him just because I want to see the journey that he goes on to like get the sign and see how it turns out. So I'm 100% down. I was literally going to tell you about that anyway, so that's perfect.
That's awesome. Yeah, like that's his fucking like TikToks and videos are fucking awesome, man.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
Like what a way to market, eh?
Yeah. So definitely I'm going to be reaching out to him, I don't know, in the next month or so, and we'll have a big, huge fucking Raw Minds in the back all lit up, man. So
yeah, man.
Fuck fucking yeah. Right. So we got a good guest. He's a good buddy of mine. Me and him have been knowing each other for years.
He's a great dude, man. He's a great dude. We had a really good conversation the first time we talked to him. So yeah, I'm super excited too, man.
Yeah, man.
I feel like he's got a lot of good insight on life and like through his own experiences too, right? So
yeah, and he's been through different journeys, man. Definitely. So we touch on a bunch of different shit here. So fuck it, let's just bring him out, man. Let's bring out Cam. What up, Cam?
What's up, boys?
Welcome to the interweb.
What's going on? How you guys been?
Good, man.
Buddy. Good.
Super busy, dude. Super busy.
Yeah,
moving like crazy.
I just heard you moved into your new place now.
Yeah.
Set up.
Yeah, just living out of boxes, like we said. Yeah, just right now, but it's gonna take a little bit, but we'll get her done, man. So.
Did you have any help?
Yeah. My kid's mom helped me, and I had a buddy of mine come for a day with a truck, help me move some heavy stuff. But other than that, man, I moved 2 blocks away. I was just doing it all by myself. I couldn't see myself paying like $900 to move 2 blocks, man. I don't know. I just couldn't see that.
No, but here's the thing: as we get older, too, we don't like to ask for help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we just talked about that yesterday, man.
Yeah,
because like I said,
just talked about it.
In the last few months, I've moved a province, back a province. You know what I mean? Had multiple houses, moved in and out of storage units plus houses. You know what I mean? Like you can only ask your friends so many fucking times to help you move, right? But
yeah.
You know, but that was my whole journey throughout this last year. It was kind of a soul searching kind of thing, right? I not really soul searching, but I went looking for something that I had, the whole time, right?
Yeah.
That was the fucking city. So, but I can understand the moving. That moving fucking sucks, man. Especially when you do it.
Never gonna do it like that again, though. I'll tell you, I said I don't care if I'm moving fucking 3 houses away. I'm getting a fucking movers. I've always got movers. My buddy talked me into not getting movers. Fuck him. I'm getting movers if this ever happens again.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I don't think I've ever used a
true.
mover.
That is to you, my friend, for fucking not making me, but convincing me not to get movers.
I don't think I've ever used a mover, man. Honestly, like
Really?
growing up, yeah, I don't think my parents ever did. I never did.
Yeah,
I remember when I moved out to Alberta in 2012, man, I just fucking loaded shit in the backseat of my Mustang and just drove across Canada. Said fuck it.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, man.
That was back when we could live with less luxuries. You know what I mean? We didn't need a whole lot to survive back then.
Yeah, mind you, I got fucking like they'll probably be eventually on the background in the podcast when I get it all set up. But I got like 3 massive fish tanks. I got like a 90-gallon, a fucking 75-gallon, another 55-gallon. Man, there's no way I'm gonna be moving that shit back and forth. I'll tell you that, man.
Just leave them there.
Yeah. Well, why don't this is your story, bro? Why don't you dive in a little bit of, you know, what you've been through and where you are today, man.
Like anybody without a fucking much of a childhood, right? You don't really, you know, what is the old saying? How you're supposed to grow when you aren't raised? You know what I mean? Kind of deal, right? So
yeah,
you know, and I know there's, you know, a lot of our generation grew up like that, right? With not a lot of parents in their life, right? So there wasn't a lot of fucking direction. So I think, you know, for our generation too, like I said, coming up there, probably with the most undiagnosed mental health problems. You know what I mean? Because, you know, the stigma and, you know, back when we were kids, man, mental health wasn't a thing, right? So,
yeah,
I mean, it was a thing, but obviously, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't out there where it was a problem, you know, that was causing issues for people throughout their lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and then that's, you know, I grew up a bad kid throughout my teenage years, right? In and out of jail. Into my 20s, still the same thing, fighting a lot. You know what I mean? Getting a lot of trouble, right? Not knowing really who I was or even loving myself. You know, and then we get partying like you guys. You know, we can relate on this when we partied fucking, you know, our fucking 20s away in our early 30s. Well, at least me anyway, right? I'm 42 now. I'll be 42 here soon. You know, but the realization that, you know, about 34, 35, that this isn't the life that I wanted. And it was time to fucking do something, right? It was, I remember it was, one morning it was do something or die, because, you know what I mean? I wasn't being productive in the world, right? It just came to a point where it was like, give up or fucking do something great. And not that I'm doing anything great now, you know, but I have done a lot of work on myself, changed my fucking life and my views on things, right? You know what I mean? And
well, you're doing better than you were, so you are doing something great, man. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? You don't sell yourself short on that.
Okay, well, here's the thing, though. It's like, I can never do good enough for me, right? You know what I mean? And you guys know how that is.
Oh yeah, man.
You can fucking do the greatest fucking job and have the greatest fucking day, and it's still not enough. Like, you know, I barely fucking sleep, right? So I'm like 4.5 hours a night, 5 hours a night, and I still feel like a fucking lazy piece of shit. Because, you know what I mean? There's still 4 more hours. I should be doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My brain doesn't comprehend that I need to fucking sleep. You know what I mean? So you get through a couple of weeks of that, you know, especially with you mixing some anxiety or whatever. And you know what I mean? And it's like, here's the thing I always say to people too. Like the depression, I can overcome the depression, and you know what I mean? I can know what caused me to be depressed. And so if I avoid those things like drinking and, you know, partying and, you know what I mean? All that kind of shit, and getting out of bed when I should get out of bed, then I can avoid depression, right? The anxiety I can use as a tool for me. You know what I mean? Because I work a long hours, I can turn it on, right? And I could drive 20 hours, 24 hours straight. You know, but here's the thing, you get so far into that, then you can't shut it off, right? Then your next day is fucking shitty because you can't sleep. You know what I mean? So my anxiety, I try to say that it's a tool for me because I can use it properly, or I can use it, but sometimes I can't shut it off, right? As far as the depression goes, if I stay away from the things that depresses me and be conscious about it, then that's the thing about it. Like once you understand what's going on inside your fucking head, then that's when you can actually fight back, right?
Yeah.
It's when you don't understand what's going on up there, is you don't know what to fucking do, right? You resort to fucking alcohol and drugs and, you know, doing things you don't want to fucking do. And, you know, being ashamed of your actions and not loving yourself and all sorts of shit, right? So.
Well, it stems to a lot of things that people don't understand. It stems usually from your childhood, right? Not all the time, but a good like 90% of the time, and you gotta work your way back down to figure out what it is that's making you, be like this or whatever happened, right? And it's about trying to.
Well, and it's so projected too. You don't even know. Like my relationship, my life, every relationship in my life, I've fucked up because I have this fear of commitment. That I do work on, obviously, right? But I'm conscious of it because that's just the way how it is. But that was the same way as my mother was, correct? Because I never had a father, so I never was shown the ways of a man. My mother was, you know what I mean? My mother was not a very good mother and had addiction issues too, right? And was in and out of relationships. So that's all I ever seen, right? I'm not trying to
normal.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what it is to me nowadays. For me to, obviously that was childhood, but there's still some things there from back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
So, and even but here's the thing about it. A lot of people want help, right? A lot of people want to change their fucking life, but they don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's the thing, right? These podcasts, the way what we talk and what we're doing right now is trying to give people tools and, you know what I mean, to be able to talk about it, right? Because that's the first step is just letting it go. But here's the other thing too, is once you start opening doors, you better be ready for what the fuck comes out of those, because it gets worse before it gets fucking better. Let me tell you.
100%, man. 100%. You got to go through the storm before you get to the beautifulness, I guess. Right?
But even talking, right? This is therapy for me, so that's why I was excited for it. Same as our last conversation, because I am actually not actively in therapy right now. Usually try to get back in that around the spring, but this year I seem to be mentally more stable for it. Because I bounce in and out of therapy. They'll tell me, oh, I'll do 3 months of therapy. They're like, oh, you're good. And then they'll pretty much cut me off, and then how long do I go till I hit rock bottom again, right? Because I'm always going to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Unless therapy is a fucking lifetime thing for me. Simple.
Yeah.
Every therapist I talk to, I tell them this. But they're like, well, it's expensive, and you know what I mean. But how much? You can't put a price on your fucking mental health, because when I'm in therapy, my diet's good, the gym's good, then I feel invincible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where. Remember when we talked about the rungs of the ladder?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tell it, man.
Yeah, man.
I want you to tell
it again, dude.
So we spend most of our fucking lives living fucking on the first rung of the ladder, right? You know what I mean? Rock bottoms, it's a short fall. We fucking pretty much we're comfortable there, right? We don't care. We go up and down that fucking first rung back to rock bottom, right? When you start working on yourself and you start getting all these fucking tools and you start fucking excelling in your life and being positive in all aspects of what you have in front of you, you get up to that fucking 12th rung, right? Now, rock bottom is still your fucking comfort zone. So when shit starts to go south, if you're not paying attention, you hit rock bottom and it's fucking devastating. You know what I mean? It's like now you feel like you have all this fucking work you got to do, and some people can stay at rock bottom for months, years. You know what I mean? If you're not conscious of what's going on, like for me, I can be back up to the top in fucking a few days. You know what I mean? Mentally, it just takes me a couple of adjustments and whatever. But the realization of that you're going down before you fucking, you know what I mean? Before you actually get to the bottom, even if you do hit the bottom and you're still looking up, that's where you've gone. You know what I mean? You know where you have to get back to. But it's the people that they don't realize that they're going down, and that me included, because I've been there lots. But then you fucking stay down there for way too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why it gets dangerous, right? And then that's addictions happen, and it's harder to get out, right?
You fall back into your old habits. You know what I mean? You start drinking, you start drugging again, because you know what I mean? That's what makes you feel good, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Always being conscious of where you are, right? Because like I said, the slip down. The slip down, the one rung, you know what I mean? It happens fucking quick, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously, right? But I was just having this conversation with my girl the other night about it too. How we knew this girl who was proper and sober, not sober, but proper her whole life, and all of a sudden within a couple of months she was losing her business, her house, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know what I mean, and everyone just noticed the straight downfall. And I was like, but see, this is a person that never lost anything in their life before, you know what I mean, because you can tell, because they don't know the signs of what they're fucking the things they're doing are detrimental to them, you know what I mean. They can't see that because they've never actually been there and been up and been down the fucking ladder. They've always just kind of been, you know what I mean? And nothing against it. I'm just saying that's the people that don't realize how quickly you can fucking slip down a fucking step with one decision or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it can be fast.
I actually saw a video about that the other day too. It was about someone who had unalived himself, and the guy had said, like, people were like commenting on this guy's social media, being like, "Oh, there were signs everywhere," and the guy kind of said, he's like, "They weren't signs before it happened; they were signs after it happened." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nobody noticed this shit until the damage was already done, and that's what happens with people.
Here's the power of realization, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For yourself, for the people around you. And that's where I said to be aware of your surroundings. You know what I mean? The people around you, what's going on around you. Because like I said, you could save someone's fucking life just by being aware.
Yeah.
Right?
Or even like we said, you're walking down the street and you just smile or say hi to someone, you know, that could have just changed their life. They could have been on their way to jumping off a bridge, you know, and you just acknowledge them and then you change their life.
Well, I'll give you an example. Back in Cranbrook last summer, I was making a left turn at a gas station, and there was a kid that was on the through lane. It was green light for me, but I was making a left turn, and I looked over and I seen this kid. He looked like he was jamming out to music, but then as I made my turn, I looked and he was actually having a fucking full-out seizure, and he was in the driver's seat of the car with traffic going the opposite direction. So if he would have hit the gas, he'd have been fucking in through the intersection. Right. So by the time I made the turn through my truck and park around over there, everyone's fucking honking their horn. They don't even know what's going on. There's fucking people at the corner. This kid's bleeding from his mouth, his nose, his fucking ears. You know what I mean? And I noticed him from across the fucking road. You know what I mean? And no one got there. You know, by the time I did get there, there was another kid that was actually approaching the vehicle. But at the same time, too, there's 20 fucking people around there, and no one's noticing what's going on, right?
Yeah.
We got the vehicle in park, and you know, the ambulance showed up, right? It was a terrifying thing. I thought I was watching somebody fucking die, because I never seen anybody seizure out like that bad. So, you know what I mean? Just being there, you know what I mean? We got his car in park, and you know, he turned out to be okay, right? But you know, what would happen if nobody noticed him and he hit the gas and fucking killed two people, or family, or himself, or you know what I mean? Like,
man.
That's just why being aware. I'm always aware of what's going on around me, whether you know, just for my own fucking sake, even too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I kind of like when I was when I came back to Vancouver, and I was living out of town, and I came back to Vancouver. I was on the bus, and this guy had a seizure on the bus, and the bus driver stops, and everybody just runs off the bus, and there's literally a fucking nurse on this bus, and they ran off, and I was the only one fucking helping this guy, man. It fucking sickened me. It was crazy. So that just made me think of that moment, going through that. Eventually, these nurses finally came back on the bus, and it was me, and there was two of them, and me and these two nurses eventually, you know, tried to stable this guy until the ambulance came, which fire trucks first showed up. But he was smashing his head on the window like he was having a seizure, so he's like going everywhere, and he was bleeding. He like smashed the window from hitting his head. It was bad, man. You know, it was fucking bad, man.
And here's the thing about it, and like nobody, I don't know how to put this properly, but nobody gives a fuck anymore about anybody else. You know what I mean?
No.
And here's the problem where we're at, and they can't see past their own fucking nose. I'm not talking about everybody, but I'm talking about a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're just too scared to help, and for whatever reason, you know what I mean? Because they don't know what to do. You know, but here's what I said: your presence can save a fucking life, even if you don't know what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pick up the fucking phone, ask for somebody for help, call 911, do fucking something, comfort the fucking person. You know what I mean?
We're all brothers and sisters at the end of the day in this fucking world, man. If you really think about it, right? We all got to take care of each other, and that's what we try to do at Raw Minds, man. Is, you know, help each other and pay it forward. Fuck, it doesn't cost anything, man, to pay it forward. You know, like
but and the thing about healing too is helping other people as part of the fucking journey, right?
Yeah,
so
man.
That's why this podcast, you know what I mean? You, us, all three of us, it's you know, it's doing something for us and other people. You know what I mean? So that's, you know, that's the big thing about it, right? So the more we get this out, you know, I mean, it's out there, I get it, but the more we push it, because I think the more people that get on this journey, and that's what I call it, it's the journey, the healing journey. You know what I mean? To be a better person, and you know, just to be a little bit better than I was yesterday is the goal I have. Only, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
definitely
try to be better than anybody else, but we get everybody on the same fucking kind of page, and there's a lot more people helping people. You know what I mean? And
man.
That could save lives. You know, and I think maybe change a bit of what's been going on throughout the years with this mental health shit. You know what I mean? So instead of being called a fucking pussy or whatever, or suck it up, like us men were supposed to fucking do, right?
Yeah.
But like
not no more.
But like this shit saved my life. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for, you know, talking and meeting people like you guys and you know what I mean? Like doing the work, right? And here's the thing about doing the work. You got to fucking do the work.
Yeah, man.
You know
100%.
You can't just talk about it, right?
No. And people don't understand, man. Like we said earlier, just at the start here, it's all about speaking. And that's the start of it, you know, expressing how you feel, because I'm not a fucking mind reader. No one's a fucking mind reader. We ain't Miss Cleo, you know what I mean? Like you know, you got to be able to tell these things. You got to be able to express that in order to fucking receive that help too, right? It's not about asking it, but it's also about receiving it too, and wanting to help.
Yeah, you gotta want it. That's the thing. Right? You gotta believe. Here's the thing. You gotta believe in something. And I don't care if it's God or a fucking higher power or fucking Allah or whatever. I don't care if it's a fucking your dead grandfather or something. Believe in something and you'll make a change. You gotta truly fucking believe in something. You know, and that's like I say a prayer. I'm not a religious man. But I'm not an atheist. I don't fucking hate religion.
You're spiritual, man. That's what you are.
Yeah. I say a prayer every fucking day. I say my gratitudes because, you know what I mean? I shouldn't be fucking here. I promise you that. So, you know, it goes back to everyone's got a path and a reason. And, you know, you got to find out why you're here, right? You can't just live every day not trying to figure out who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? In a sense. Yeah. Because you got to push, and fucking keep pushing. You know what I mean? And if you guys are like me, where nothing's ever good enough, then that's easy to do, right? But for some people, it's not, because they're not very motivated in life. And that's, you know, I guess that's where it gets harder for people that need to change, that won't change because they're not motivated. You know what I mean?
You got to find your why, man. We spoke about that on our last episode. You got to find that why.
I don't give a fuck if it's your cat. You believe in something. And change will happen. You know what I mean?
I think part of the problem too, like this is just from my own experience, because like being in recovery, like I deal with a lot of addicts and alcoholics, and I'll get a lot of people who will come up to me and say they want the help. But like I've gotten so aware of it that it's just like they want you to say something that's going to fucking change their life. Or it's like they want you to wave a magic wand over their head and make it go away. And it's like, listen, nothing anybody said changed my life. It was when I was ready to fucking change my life that I shut my mouth and I opened my ears and I started taking direction from people who were where I wanted to be. And that's when things started changing. That's when I started doing the work, like you said, and taking the action. Because for so long it was like this fucking overwhelming pity party of poor me. This is happening to me because of A, B, and C, and like person did X, Y, and Z. So like tell me something that's gonna change my life, or just like make these feelings get shut off. It's like fucking no. Nobody's gonna say or do anything that's gonna change your life. Like you have to be the one to make the change, or at least be willing to make the change. Because the moment you're actually willing to hear somebody out who's where you want to be, then you're going to start fucking listening and like trying to gain wealth of knowledge from these people. Like that's why I love this podcast, because every episode is like a fucking information overload for me, for different perspectives from different people who are on different paths. And I fucking love it. You know what I mean? Like hearing people like you come on, Kim, and tell your perspective. I'll be honest with you, man. Like we've already had a conversation. I know that, but like hearing your perspective, like so far into this fucking 15 minutes we've been on, is different than one that we've had on in a long time, in my opinion. And I love it because it's different. You know what I mean?
Well, and here's the thing about this, is just my experience, right? This is how I see, and this is my opinion of how this is going, right? You know, people see it differently, right? Like unmotivated people might see this fucking differently, right? But if you don't, here's the thing. Like I used to let fear run my life. You know what I mean? Fear doesn't run my life anymore. You know what I mean? And I think that was my biggest accomplishment in this whole fucking healing journey, is getting on an airplane. You know what I mean? A couple of times. You know what I mean? And doing the shit that I said I would never do because I was scared, right? So the gym, you know, the fitness, losing the weight, the quit smoking, the diet, all that stuff. That's all stuff that I'm proud of, right? And that's a hard word for me to say about myself because I don't, ever think that anything's good enough, right? But like I said, my perspective, my view, has helped some people. I know it has. And it's different, it's the kind of it's kind of advice that might hurt your feelings before you actually fucking figure out that what the true meaning of what I'm saying to you is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I think people need the tools to change, and I think we should have better mental health help and access to it for people, because I truly believe that there's no addiction isn't a disease. I think the trauma is the disease, and I think if we treat the trauma, the addiction dies. That's my opinion. That's probably totally fucking off of what a lot of addicts think, but me being not really an addict, like we talked about this before, but I did use drugs and I did drink a lot, to bury feelings. And I caught myself in a couple of spots where I could have, where I was partying way too much, and then like one day turns into 2 days, 3 days, and then you're losing jobs or losing relationships or that kind of shit, right? But once I started dealing with the therapy and even the exercise helped, and the exercise wasn't to look good or anything like that, it was just for my head, right? But then that all that shit went away from me. The drinking stopped, the drugs stopped, you know what I mean? The cigarettes, everything that was a problem in my life was just kind of just vanishing itself, so, and that's why I say that I'm living proof kind of, but I'm telling you, nobody's born an addict. You know what I mean? And the childhood trauma is the biggest fucking cause for, addiction in later years. You know what I mean?
I don't mean to step on your toes there, but the only way that born an addict if their parents was using it and then they came out like that. But I mean, generally you're not, right? But I wouldn't say normal, but I mean,
let me rephrase that. Nobody's born wanting to be an addict.
There you go. Yeah. I just wanted to clear that up for everybody.
I'll rephrase that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, no, you're right. I'm not always politically correct, so stop me.
No, it's all good.
Nothing wrong.
That's what we're here for, man. And you the same way for us, man. This is what we do. And fuck, my shit keeps on glitching out here. You can see me flashing. I don't know what the hell's going on, but just pay no attention to me flashing. So do you... Pardon me?
It's like there's a bubble around your head, though.
Yeah, it's all gonna get fixed here in the next day or two. I'll be fucking working hard on this shit. Do you want to touch in on a little bit more stuff? Just a little bit more of, so people can kind of relate in some way?
Where did I leave off there? Well, like I said, for me, this whole journey, you know what I mean? This fucking better me kind of shit, right? I don't know what, like, I call it. See, there's a couple of terms I use that people don't like awakening, and not the woke. This is nothing to do with fucking woke shit or that. I call it the awakening, the journey, because once you fucking truly, figure out that you're not doing what you want to fucking do in life, and you want to be better, or you know what I mean, or then that's once you start that's a whole different part of your life. It's like you're reborn.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? And that for me, like anybody that knows me knows I came up rough, you know what I mean, and in and out of jail, you know what I mean, and I was fighting all the time, I was violent, you know what I mean, partying, all that shit, right? So it's like when I found this is like giving me a new lease on life, and the power of positivity, it went from being negative to being positive, and you know what I mean. Just
what was that turning point though for you? What was that?
It was a woman, actually.
Okay.
So we dated for 3 or 4 years, I think. We moved to Alberta together from East Van. You remember Tiana?
I think I do. I think I remember.
Yeah. So, and I wasn't very good there. I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was a womanizer back then, right? So, anyway, we moved to Alberta together, and then she left, and she should have. 2017, I believe it was late 2017, and I remember her looking at me and going, "You need help." Now, I was 35. I was 34 years old. Didn't have a clue what the fuck she was talking about. I kind of laughed it off. You know what I mean? And then we went our separate ways, but we still kind of hung out for a while. And then again, and she ended up going out with one of my friends, which is whatever. But that was when it was like great loss, great change kind of deal, right? And it was stupid. It's kind of stupid to say over a woman, but she actually was my motivation to be a better person. And I didn't tell.
Well, was that because you wanted her back, or was that just because, like, what the fuck because
No.
in some situations, people, that are in relationships, they lose their partner, and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna make the best version of myself to get that person back. Well, eventually they forget about that other person, and then they just become the best version of themselves. And a lot of people use that as a motivation. They start off as that, as a motivation, but then it really turns into them just healing themselves and becoming a better person.
No, for me, it was kind of different. I knew there was no fixing this, and for good reasons. But what I wanted it to be, because I did love her, and she was really good to me. I just wanted to be a better person. So I didn't want everything that I put her through to be for nothing. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Right. So it was out of that, and still this day, like, she's still dating my friend. I think maybe they're married now, whatever, and good on them. But there was no, I'm trying to get her back kind of deal. I knew it was over. It was over.
Yeah. Okay.
But like you said, that continued on. That she motivated me enough to get me jump started to know, what I mean, to keep it going for this long, right? So
she sparked something in your head that, like,
something. Here's what I say. I'm like, thank God she left. Like, I didn't want her to leave, but fuck, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know what I mean? And that's not in a mean way of saying my life was a lot better without her, but her leaving me got me going on the right fucking track to the person I want to be, right? So and being conscious of my actions. That's the biggest thing. And being accountable and setting boundaries. I mean, that's a whole new fucking thing too, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, you got to do the work. You know what I mean? And find out what works for you. That's why my experience will not work for other fucking people, because we're different. We're just different. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing, but so someone might try the way I've done it, or the way you guys have done it, or what kind of advice they've gotten off the podcast. It ain't going to work. They get discouraged. You got to fucking keep working and find out what the fuck works for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's no book to this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything worth it, you got to put in work to figure out, and you're gonna fail, man, and shit. You know what I mean? But that's when you learn your lessons. That's
failing is a part of this whole fucking process, brother.
Yeah. As long as you fail forward, not backwards, right?
That's right.
As long as you fail forward.
If you're failing, you're fucking trying. And that's commendable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try.
Definitely.
I like failing. I like failing almost as much as I do succeeding. You know what I mean? Say, that didn't work, so I got to try something else. You know what I mean? It gives me another fucking challenge, right?
Yeah,
when
exactly.
You push through that fucking, push through, and you get to where you're going, it's very rewarding. And that's when I can be excited for myself, because you know what I mean? It's hard when nothing I can do for myself is good enough for the people, for me, or you know what I mean, the people around me, right? Which
definitely,
which actually fucks up and runs into my home life too, because then I expect perfection from everybody too, when I can't even be perfect. You know what I mean? It's not perfection, but like, oh, why'd you park your car that way? I always got something to say about something that's not proper. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not like, but I have to be conscious of it too, because it can get on the nerves of people when I'm like, why didn't you put that cup in the cupboard the right way? You know what I mean? Like, here, let me fix that for you. Or you know what I mean? That's just the way my brain is. Like, you know what I mean? That's just the way I'm wired. So I have to be conscious about how I treat people around me with that kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. They call me a grumpy old man because I'm fucking like, you know what I mean? Who's troubling their fucking walk before I am in the morning? Kind of deal. What are you doing? Kind of deal, right? So, but that's just the way I am. So in my home life, I got to make sure that I'm like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I just let it go. Like, oh, they left the light on. It's okay. Like, nobody's perfect. You know, you don't gotta go say something to the kid about her leaving the fucking light on. Just shut the fucking light off and shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
Pick and choose your battles, right?
Well, and that's the big thing too, right? And with kids, it's tough. You know what I mean? So,
oh yeah,
you want the best for them, but they don't have a fucking clue. You know, they're doing shit that we done better 20 years ago, and you know what I mean. And we're catching them doing it. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, I did that better 20 years ago, and I got caught. You know what I mean? Like, So, and that's like, you guys are going to be in the teenager years here fucking soon, right? So,
yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And I don't envy you guys at all, man. I went through it quite a bit.
I got a year and a half. year and a half.
I got two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Where are you, Anthony? You're in what? Brampton?
I'm just outside of Toronto. I'm east of Toronto. I'm between Toronto and Kingston.
Okay. So what's it like down there? Population?
Very small town. Like my town, it's like less than 10,000.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're good.
I've said this a couple times. Like, man, my daughter's 10. When I was 10, I used to fucking tear this town up on my bicycle. Now I wouldn't let my daughter do that because it's just not the same world anymore.
Well, no, it's not the same people. That's not the same fucking. Nobody cares about anybody anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the whole fucking thing. Like, you know what I mean? You used to be able to call your neighbor fucking a block away and ask, have you seen my kid? You know what I mean? Or something like that, right? And everyone, there was a network of fucking shit. Now we all have cell phones. We still can't find our fucking kids.
Yeah,
man.
You
know what I mean? They're fucking disappearing, right? So, anyway, for my experience with, with teenagers is they want to grow up way too fucking fast. And, if you're not careful, those are the years, I think, from 12 years old up is when they really need the most fucking direction in their life. You know what I mean? Where they can actually be pushed in the right direction with the right people. You know what I mean? They need attention, put it that way.
Yeah.
And that's how it's hard because parents got to work to fucking support, right? Not just one income anymore. It's got to be two fucking incomes, sometimes three incomes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how do the kids get the fucking attention that they need when the parents got to be fucking away working to pay fucking taxes? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Especially living in Vancouver, man. Like, it's expensive as fuck, man. I mean, I got really lucky in this place. I got a killer deal for this 3-bedroom, but I mean, I was looking, like 2 bedrooms are like 2,900, man, 2,800. You know what I mean? And it's expensive. And it's imagine one person trying to afford that. You got your kid and then yourself. You each get a bedroom. I'm paying 2,900 for, like, how do you live, man? And that's just rent. What about food, your other bills? You got water, gas, all that other shit, man. So you're looking at least up to like 30, 33, 3,400. You know what I mean? A month? Like, it's hard, bro.
Dude, we got a 4-bedroom house, 3-level, and it's $3,000 a month. And our power bill just went up. We're about $800 a month in power and fucking gas.
Oh wow!
So, plus insurances, plus fucking
everything else, man.
$600 a month on fuel on my pickup to go to work. You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck do you afford this shit?
Yeah, man.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
everything else goes up except for our wages, man.
I know, 100%.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Even food, all that.
Anyway, we're not going to get into that shit because
no, that's a different podcast.
That's a different podcast.
Yeah, but it struggles, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it is struggles, right? Well, and it does affect your mental health.
There's a thing too. It's like people are losing everything, man. They work their asses off for it. Their fucking houses, their cars, their families, their kids. I'll give an example. 2 weeks after we did our last interview there was a guy. They shut down the highway. He was on the bridge, right? So I was going east, and I drove right past him. He was on the edge of the bridge. So they were diverting us off to an off ramp on the Country Hills and back around down the other way.
Oh, that's in Kelowna, wasn't it?
No, it was in Calgary. Okay. And they fucking anyway. So the eastbound traffic were stopped under the bridge. And they couldn't turn them around. There was too much fucking shit going on. And anyway, the guy was up there. The police was up there. And then, pretty much for me, it was in my head. I was like, fuck, man, the police are going to fuck this up. Because this isn't a police matter. This is a fucking mental health matter. This guy needs someone nice to talk him down. Anyway, he ended up fucking jumping in front of a bunch of fucking people and obviously didn't make it, right? Saddest fucking thing in the world for these people that had to witness that shit. You know what I mean? I still haven't fucking forgot about it. This is just a couple of weeks ago. But this is what we're getting at. People don't have a way out. You ever know we all live a life of quiet desperation? You know what that means? That means that between our mortgages and our fucking car payments and our bills, we can't do anything. We're a fucking slave to our life. That's why it's quiet desperation, because, okay, we want the life, but we can't leave this life if we have to or want to. You know what I mean? There's no way out for us. There's no good way out for us. We're fucking stuck in this life.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, a lot of people, just start your own business. Do that. But it's not that easy, man. It's hard out there to, start your own business to make that money. I mean, it starts with an idea, and not everybody has an idea, So a a lot of people are just stuck to the 9 to 5, and that's all that they can bring to the table. And it's nothing against them, man. But
too many people want to see you fucking fail.
100%, man.
You know what I mean? So why would you go into a fucking world of hate to try to start something positive? You know, and okay, and I'm sure it can be done, but there's too many fucking people that aren't going to give you help or you know what I mean, or jealous of even your friends and family. You know what I mean? And here I'll give you an example. My kid's mother, we used to be best friends, right? So, and then you start doing good things for yourself, and the other person gets jealous. You know what I mean? And because they can't make them fucking changes, and they don't know how you're making them changes, but now they fucking hate your guts because you're making these fucking changes. Now you're a piece of shit. You know what I mean? You see how this goes?
Yeah.
And this is not just, and that's because, and a lot of these fucking people just, they don't have the proper tools to change. They want to change, but they don't have the fucking tools. The first step, you know what I mean? The push in the right direction. Or as you say, the fucking, you know, the super advice where it's just going to change your life in one fucking day. You know what I mean? They can't, they don't, things aren't better tomorrow, they give up kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like,
they're looking for that instant change, instant gratification, instant change. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like winning the lotto, you know? Just like, boom, you got that money. Now you're like, that's pretty much one of the most instant changes you're going to get. Other than that, I mean, people, it's not going to happen. At the end of the day, it's not going to happen. You got to put in the work, man.
If you got mental health problems, money's not going to fix anything.
No.
You know what I mean? Chances are it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, most of the time you're going to go out, spend it. You're going to think that, like, you know, all this money is going to change.
It's momentary happiness.
You know? That's it, man.
Fucking happiness. Just like drugs and alcohol, right? You know what I mean? You just want to escape that little bit, be happy. You know what I mean? Just for a little bit. It's momentary. That's why it's like, for me, it's like, I still drink. Like I said, we've talked about this before. I still drink. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. But I don't drink. I'm more conscious of when I can drink. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in a bad mood or my day hasn't gone too well, I don't drink. I don't drink because it's Friday. I don't drink because it's Saturday. You know what I mean? I drank the other night because it was a fucking Canada-US hockey game. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. Or Christmas time was the time before that. You know what I mean? Like that's just that, and that's easy for me to do now because I'm 100% conscious of what it does to my health, my life, my routine. You know what I mean? So
see, like I don't drink to get drunk. When I drink, now maybe that's once every 2 months, maybe if that, right? It's like I'll maybe have like a Caesar or something with like a dinner if I go for dinner, man. But that's about it. But I don't drink.
One thing I miss about drinking is Caesars, man. Caesars, I fucking love Caesars.
Extra muddy, buddy.
I don't.
But here, I don't drink to get drunk. I drink to enjoy the drink. You know, enjoy the and the social.
I'm the opposite. I can't. There's no just one drink for me. It's like if I'm drinking, we got plans. We're going out. We're doing something. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
That's just the way I've always been that way. But but I'm 100% conscious of that, right?
Yeah.
Enough, you know what I mean? So,
see, I just got tired of waking up in the morning and having no money in my wallet and be like, where the fuck did my money go? What the hell? And then being scared to check my bank account. You know what I mean? Like that. And I was like, fuck no, man.
Well, that's the other bonus to not drinking too much, right? So, you know, keeping your mind occupied. Like, you know, Anthony, what have you been clean 4 years now?
Yeah, just about.
So, I mean, that's big. That's huge, right? You know, now you're a role model for, you know, and you probably have been for a few years. You know what I mean? But that's a good feeling on something to keep you sober. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you believe in that, right? You believe in sobriety. So that's why this big change is happening for you, and now you can start making changes in other people's life if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. You know what I mean? So that's why I say believe in something, man. Believe in fucking anything. I don't care what it is, and then in turn it helps you believe in yourself, right?
Yeah,
that's what you have to do is you have to believe in yourself. So
self-love.
It's one of those things too where it's like once you start learning this shit, especially about yourself, you can't fucking unlearn it. You know what I mean? Like once you go on this journey of self-discovery, like you can't unlearn this shit. Like you guys talking about like enjoying drinking and like having a Caesar, or you going out but you have plans, like you make plans. Like for me, it was like if I'm getting fucking beer, I'm getting a bag and I'm getting absolutely blasted every time. that was me, right?
Yeah.
And I can't do that anymore because I know how it turns out because I've been around that fucking Ferris wheel so many goddamn times. It's just not worth it. And like you said, like I have so much more to live for now and so many beautiful gifts from beginning this self-awareness journey that like I can't, even if I did drink and fucking destroy my life, like I can't unlearn the shit that I've already learned. Yeah. So it's just gonna make me feel way worse than it ever did before. And it made me feel pretty fucking bad before without this knowledge that I have now.
Yeah. Well, that's when you start doing the work, then comes the real work. You know what I mean? And that's where it's like the rabbit hole. You know what I mean? You get in there and fucking just keeps going and going and going, right? But that's where you got to find your normal, where you want to, you know what I mean? Because there's no growth of a human never stops. You could fucking, you know what I mean? You could be doing great shit every fucking day for every rest of your life if you push yourself enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, we don't have, we're not capable of doing that every fucking day because obviously we got to live too, right?
But you want it. You want to have have to want it, right? At the end of the day,
you got to push. You got to push. Those times you don't want to get out of fucking bed to go do something, you got to get up and go do something. Go do it. I think I don't negotiate with myself. When my alarm goes off, it's fucking up. I don't care if I fucking. And here's the thing, and I'll go back and tell you that I'm not 100% perfect. Because the night before, I'll make a decision when I'm laying in bed if I'm going to the gym. My alarm's set for 3:30 or if my alarm's set for 5. So if my alarm's set for fucking 3:30, I'm going to the gym. I don't care how I feel at 3:30 in the morning. I'm fucking getting up. I'm not negotiating with myself, and that's just how it is. If I tell myself I'm not going to the gym tomorrow, then okay, I can shut the alarm off and I can sleep until 5. Or if most times at 4:30 or 4 o'clock. But you know what I mean? I have to play the mental game to make sure I can still get my production done in my life, right? With the gym and everything, right? So I think the biggest thing is not negotiating with yourself. You want to make small goals, big results. That's what I've always said for a long time. Little baby steps. You break habits within 2 weeks if you can stay disciplined enough that long. You know what I mean? Like, and discipline's a big part of this journey too. But you only need discipline in short spurts if you know how to use it right. You know how to break habits, kind of deal, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah,
I had a conversation with a guy today, and he made like the way he described the way his his thinking patterns was like really interesting. He's like, man, like there's so much stuff I don't want to do in a day, and he's like, if I catch myself being like, I don't want to go hang out with this person, he's like, my immediate next words on my mouth is yes, I do. So like if he's in recovery, so he's like, I don't want to go to this meeting. He'll immediately just say to himself, yes, I do. And then he doesn't think, he just fucking gets up and goes and does it. I'm like, that's a really good fucking tool.
This is the thing too. It's like I try to make decisions for stuff that I'm 8 hours away from. And I'm like, why am I making that decision now? I'll make that decision when it's fucking time to make that decision. Yeah. By the time I get to there, I'm good to go, and I do what's right anyway. But you can mentally fuck yourself up by if you're in the morning, you get up and go, I'm not going to that thing after work. You know what I mean? And that whole day in your head, all you think about is fucking, I'm not going to that thing after work. I'm not going. You know what I mean? But if you just go, I'll make the decision when the time comes, then it's not fucking stuck in your head all fucking day, and you can make a proper decision when the time comes. So, you know what I mean? Don't just shut yourself off fucking 10 hours or 8 hours from something you got to do because of the way you feel at that time. You know what I mean? That's 2 different times a day, 2 different types of feelings you're going to have. You know what I mean? You're going to feel, by the end of the day, you're going to feel more accomplished than you are when you're getting up in the morning. You know what I mean? So you'll be able to push yourself more. And again, this is all just stuff that works for me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah, but someone might relate to this and or maybe try what you're doing. This is why we do this. It's for other people to reach out and try different things, and maybe, hey, I'm not alone. I got to try this.
You ever remember that fucking cartoon where the guy gets out of bed and he drags himself into the fucking bathroom and he gets ready and he's like, you know what I mean? Just a slug pretty much.
Yeah.
But he's doing it. I feel like that sometimes, you know what I mean? But you're doing it. And once you get out the door, and it's the best thing for you. Push yourself through them fucking low times.
Especially get that fresh air, man. That's
it. Get out there, take a couple of steps, have a coffee, just start your day. Take 1 minute at a fucking time. That's all you got to do. Start with 1 minute.
My sponsor has a saying, and what he says is like, you have 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future, you're shitting all over right now.
Yeah.
So just like live in the present, like you said, like don't fucking worry about what tomorrow brings or what's gonna happen after the podcast. Like this is what we're doing. This is where we are. Take it in for what it is, and then we'll deal with the shit that comes after this.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, and that's why this is good for me, because even like going over the shit with you guys and just talking helps me remember, of tools that I've maybe forgotten about or use. And I'll say this about the past thing. Most of mankind's fucking problems are fucking the past. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We all fucking live in the fucking past, and that's the only thing we can't change. We can change the present, we can change the future. We can change today, we can change tomorrow, kind of deal, right? But what did it for me, and me being the most narrow-minded guy in the fucking world, you know what I mean? And that's why this whole mental health thing and this whole fucking awakening or this journey, starting this journey, got going for me. Is like, the last book I read was in jail. Okay, put it that way. And that was fucking 15 years ago. Then we'll fast forward a couple years. I read a book called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Okay, and it teaches you how to fucking let go of the past. And it's the fucking craziest fucking book in the world. And being open-minded now. Now, you got to go in this book with an open fucking mind, and it says that right in the prologue. But I've read it a few times, brother, and it's fucking changed my life. You know what I mean?
Say the name again? Untethered.
It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna check it out.
I'm telling you, I've read it a couple of times. I'm actually going to read it again. I get something out of it every time I fucking read it. But it'll give you scenarios. You'll be reading it, and you'll be overthinking in your head, and it'll tell you you're overthinking. And then you'll be like, holy fuck.
In the middle of while you're reading it.
Yeah. And it's cool. Insane. Like, but it's called, they call it, so not being able to let go of the past, called a blockage in the heart. Right? And it doesn't let shit pass through. But this book will teach you how to let go of it, how to exercise a couple of these things, and actually lets you help go of it. And it's actually fucking amazing. And you should. I'm
definitely gonna check it out.
I sent some copies to a lot of my friends because I really believe this fucking book will change your life.
Yeah.
But the big past thing, because the past, you know what I mean? We all live there. That's why we got anxiety, right?
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh yeah.
Depression because of the future.
Well,
if we just lived, because we lived in fucking right now, today, this minute, and you appreciate everything. Because here's another thing too. You're always going to be, I wish my birthday was here. I wish winter was over. You're going to fucking say that every year. Your life's going to pass by so quick. You're going to have a fucking, you know what I mean? You didn't live one fucking minute of your life. You just always wanted another fucking time to come. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, be aware in the moment, even if it's cold. Like, I can find beauty in -30. I can find beauty in the snow, the rain. You know what I mean? I can find beauty in it. And I'm not in no hurry for it to fucking go by. I just appreciate it. You know what I mean? So
I can confidently say, man, all of my problems that I feel like I have in my life right now aren't presently happening. All my problems are everything that happened in the past, and it has to do with other people and nothing with me. Ultimately, I have a fucking roof over my head. My bills are paid. My kids are well. I don't have problems. I have issues with the thing that I can't change, which is my past.
Yeah.
You are 100% right, man.
But like, there's a quote that I want to quote too, but I can't remember it. I'll butcher it, so I won't say it. But
go for it, man. Fuck it. Who cares?
No, because I won't even know where to start. I'd have to fucking. Anyway. But we are controlled, mentally by the fucking things that we can't change, by the thing that we can actually change. You know what I mean? Right? You can change your thought pattern, your thinking. You can change all that. But why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard because we don't have the fucking proper tools.
Yeah.
To change our alter our path. You can reprogram your brain. I truly believe you can fucking and like remember we said this about addicts for life. You know what I mean? And that's a really hard fucking term for me to accept. You know what I mean? Like, remember I told you I dated a girl who was an addict from 16 to 22. And then was sober for 22 years, but was still deemed an addict. You know what I mean? That never had but like we talked about this before, and that was like, for me, that's a problem to label a person for their whole lifetime over, you know what I mean, a choice they made. but maybe that doesn't go for all people, and maybe I don't want to sound like a dickhead about this, because I really fucking think people do recover, and they don't need to be labeled an addict after they do recover. You know what I mean? I mean, if they got 10 or 15 years, 20 years sobriety, I don't think you're a fucking addict anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's but we had a back and forth about this too, Anthony.
Yeah,
How you looked at it, right? So
yep. Yeah, and I respect it, man. That's the thing. Like I totally understand where you're coming from. I totally respect it. For me, I have a different perspective, right? That doesn't mean you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong. It's just what works for you doesn't work for me, and what works for me doesn't work for you. But there's nothing right or wrong about any of this. It's just what serves you may not serve me. It may not serve Eric, but it serves you. And obviously it fucking works for you, because look at you. You know what I mean? Like, the shit you're saying is fucking profound, all of it. I'm just going to say that. It's amazing. You know what I mean? But for me, like, my perspective is different. That doesn't mean what my perspective is any better or worse than yours. It's just what works for me, which may work for someone that's listening, but it probably doesn't work for Eric, because I don't think Eric needs to sit in a fucking meeting. You know what I mean? It's just, it's right now we have 3 totally different perspectives on the show, and they are all valid perspectives. It's just someone's going to take something from Eric, someone's going to take something from you, and someone's going to take something from me. Or maybe someone's not going to take shit from anybody. Who the fuck knows? Like, I don't know.
We're all a bunch of fucking dummies or something.
Yeah.
I'm a dummy. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, that's just society, right? We're getting judged right now, whether we like it or not.
Speaking of dummies, I'm all frozen here, so just bear. I'm here. Just
you're good.
You can't see me, but whatever. It's all good. We'll figure that out. Raw minds, baby. Don't worry about me. We'll keep on going. I'm still here. So.
Okay. Yeah. So, like, and a lot of my trauma that I've suffered, or childhood, and then a lot of it's self-inflicted, and then I have workplace trauma. You know what I mean? So, whether it all coincides together, just one big fucking trauma. We just whatever. We'll call it that, right? One big trauma party.
Yeah.
But so for me, dealing with all that shit, I deal with it a lot of different ways, obviously. But therapy's. I can't say enough good things about therapy. And I don't care what kind of label I'm put on. You know what I mean? For saying that, because I honestly, it's saved my life, right? So
100%.
I agree. Therapy is fucking huge, man.
Yeah.
But and like, even I want my kids to talk to therapists, whether they need it or not, just to normalize the whole, you know what I mean, being able to talk to somebody's there, right? Because honestly, I tell my therapist anything, right? And it's the greatest feeling in the world, because you know what I mean, there's no judgment there, or there's no backlash, or there's no handcuffs or nothing like that, right? So
yes,
yeah,
thank God.
And like I said a couple episodes ago, it's not yours anymore. Once you share it with somebody else, it's not a secret. It's not yours to carry alone, because somebody else knows. And even if they are judging you, it's literally not yours to carry anymore. That's the way I look at it. When I share my shit, it's not a fucking secret. So I can't spin it in any other way. As long as I'm honest, if I can be at peace with myself for sharing it the way that it should be shared, then I can't twist it and make it bigger than it is, because somebody else already knows the truth. Yeah. That's the way I look at it.
It's true, man.
And like I said, everyone deals with shit in fucking different ways. Some properly, some not so fucking proper. Right? And this is where it goes back, where drinking was a temporary relief of happiness. And I told you that, like, I was suicidal my whole, since I was fucking, as much as I can remember. But alcohol, and here's how my cycle went throughout my whole fucking life, was I would drink and I would be happy, so I wouldn't be suicidal. Then I'd be hungover the next day or two, and I'd be a coward, so I couldn't, commit suicide, right? And I'd go back to drinking. I'd feel good, whether it was 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or 4 days, or you know what I mean, whatever. Then you got the depression hangover, the coward, feeling of shame and cowardness, you know what I mean? And that's how I survived my whole fucking life, was that cycle. And that's fucking, sad to say, but that's exactly how it was. You look at it you got to take it for what it is, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I experienced in my active addiction. Every morning I woke up, it's like, fuck, now I got to do this again. Because I knew at that time, I knew the only way for me to get out of the way that I was feeling, which I didn't want to feel, which was suicidal and shame, remorse, like a coward, a failure, not good enough. The only way that I knew at that time to get out of it was to use drugs and alcohol, because it's like you said, it prolonged those feelings long enough for me to tolerate the day that I was in.
Yeah.
But every morning I woke up, it was like, fuck, here we go again. You know? And then you learn tools along the way which change your life. And for me, it was 12-step recovery. But for you, you did it on your own, which I commend you for. I fucking wish I had that type of willpower. I just didn't, man. But you also said you're spiritual too, so that's really not that much different than 12 steps.
I honestly, you're not the only one that can't believe that I did what I did throughout my life. My family's the same way, right? Because most of my family is in, not addiction, but drinkers, and my mom wasn't my mom was an addict. I can only imagine that. I never met my father, so I can only imagine that he was the same. You know what I mean, kind of deal, right? But just the fact I wanted to break the cycle. You know what I mean? For me, was the big thing, right? And I wasn't tired of being looked down on by my family, people. You know what I mean? Always sold short, kind of say, right? So it wasn't a vendetta, but I had some shit to prove. You know what I mean? That I wasn't just gonna fucking roll over, and take it.
Take it. So, yeah. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
I didn't want to look blank, so at least you can see my ugly mug here.
Just
but I'm
staring
frozen.
into nothingness.
Staring into nothing. I don't know. My program that I use for the thing is frozen there. And in order to, I think I got to reset my computer. So I'm just going to leave it like that. So then I don't have to. Everybody's gone.
No, we're still here.
Oh, okay. But it's sorry about that, guys. I don't know. It's Major having some technical issues, definitely, on this run.
It's all good. You having technical fucking difficulties.
Fuck, I'm just non-stop right now. It's the move, man. Everything, boxes everywhere. I mind you too, every time my daughter's on my computer, man, it just goes.
How do you see the chat messages?
If you go down to the chat,
bottom right corner, if you're on a computer. I don't know what it looks like on a cell phone.
No, I'm on the computer.
Yeah. So bottom right corner says chat, and then you can go to live stream chat. We got Lee in there. What's up, Lee? Always a big supporter of us.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
And a big supporter of the 12 steps, I see, which is awesome.
And then we're on TikTok too, but you won't be able to see that chat because it's not connected. But I want to say, man, I'm proud of you. I've known you. Me and you go way back. Anton days, rest in peace to Anton there. Thank God for him. He brought us together, man.
That was a sad fucking thing, bro. But here's the thing too about mental health. Another thing too I want to touch on before we go is diet. Diet's a huge fucking thing. You know what they say when you are what you eat. That was the truest fucking thing that I never knew the meaning of until I was a fucking adult. You know what I mean? What you put in your fucking mouth affects your gut, and your gut affects your mental health, right?
Yeah, man.
So you spend your life eating fucking Baconators and fucking Big Macs and fucking fries. Your life expectancy ain't gonna be too fucking long. I promise you that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's just a sad case of it. And people don't know it's cheaper to eat shitty than it is to eat fucking healthy. You know what I mean? And that's it
blows my mind, man. You know what I mean? It just blows my mind. They ever tell you, you got to eat healthy. But yet healthy's more fucking expensive.
Yeah.
You know?
It's fucking insane. And this is where it's like, when is enough, man? You know what I mean? Like, mental health are in the fucking toilet right now because of the way fucking society is. We're divided. We're fucking hateful. So it's hard to be positive in the fucking world of today. But I'm telling you, the power of positivity is a fucking real thing, man, and it'll change your life.
100%.
So let me just ask you, Cam, and this is a personal question from me. Like, when you're dieting, like, I get so fucking bored of eating the same thing. Like, when I diet, man, I'm good for like 2 or 3 days, and then I'm fucking over it. Like, I can only eat so much green beans, rice, chicken, and ground beef, man, or I lose my fucking mind. See, and then you say Baconator, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
Well, I still fuck around, right? It all depends on what you're doing, but fruit, man, just make sure there's fruit in your diet. It doesn't always have to necessarily be fucking rice and chicken and ground beef, whatever. Pork's also good for you. The odd potatoes. There's egg noodle, fucking pasta, beef. I just try to stay, pretty much just try to stay away from anything that's too processed. You know what I mean? Like, bacon. I love bacon, but it's fucking really bad for you.
Bacon's so good.
Anything store bought's really not that good for you anyway, right? So, but like my best diet is when I'm at work because everything's portioned. I have my calories, my fruit, my fats, everything, my intake, right, for the day, and that's easy for me to eat.
Do you count your calories?
I do. Yeah. I do.
Yeah. Okay. When I was doing that, man, it was a pain in the ass all the time. Like I had a calorie counter, and that's what I ate for like what 2 years almost straight was just chicken, brown rice, broccoli, or it would be ground beef, broccoli.
You don't gotta complicate it too much. You know what I mean? You can say the meats, the rice and vegetables. You can throw in potatoes once in a while, but try to stay. The gluten's a big thing too, right? Like gluten. Yeah. Gluten will make you feel like fucking garbage, and I'm trying to eat less gluten this year, but I still love a fucking burger. I've tried the gluten-free bread. I call it basketball bread. You literally fucking drop it on the counter and it bounces. You know what I mean? The egg noodles are good. They're gluten-free. They're starch-free. You know what I mean? For pastas. You know what I mean? Little bit of breads, but mostly like I'm a guy that can eat fucking ground beef 5 nights a week. Yeah. I can eat chicken, ground beef, pork, meats. I can eat all the time.
Yeah, me too. I cheated a little bit though. I'm not gonna lie, man. In my ground beef, I would took taco seasoning. Yeah, and I put that in my ground beef, and do that. That was my little cheat.
The only problem with that is just the salt intake, right?
The salt. Right?
Exactly. Other than that, it's not too bad. Like even hot sauces and all that kind of shit. But I stay away from ketchups, mayonnaises, anything. Yeah. If I go out, I'll have a wrap and fries and gravy. But gravy, that's about as crazy as I get. So
yeah.
You're a fucking wild man, dude. As I'm sitting here chugging a Pepsi, like fuck. Zero sugar though.
No, but I do drink pop once in a while, but it's always diet pop, right? I haven't had a sugar pop.
Yeah, this is zero sugar shit.
Yeah. So that's
I actually like the zero sugar better than the regular stuff.
Same as me. Once I start drinking diet, I won't ever go back to sugar pop just because I'm hooked on diet now.
Yeah.
But people will be smoking a cigarette and be like, diet's bad for you, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, what? My 2 fucking diet pops a fucking week is bad as a
it's all let's face it, everything's fucking bad for you.
Yeah, 100%. But you gotta pick the poison.
Yeah, man. I mean, like even Anton's dad, man, he ate too much bananas, man, and died from too much calcium.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Calcium or potassium?
Potassium, sorry, not calcium. Potassium. No, potassium, I mean, sorry.
Potassium poison. Never even heard of that.
Well, he just ate so much that it affected his body.
Well, I mean, I guess everything in moderation, right? I mean,
exactly, man.
Why are you eating that many fucking bananas?
I don't know. You're not a fucking monkey.
Fuck. Where's this guy getting all these bananas?
Bananas ain't fucking cheap, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, but like I said, this is moderation, right? I mean, you just gotta kind of whatever kind of deal.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, I had with one of our guests, I did I'm going to be looking into some life coaching with one of our guests we had on. And he called me out after when we were doing our interview, just him and I to go over some stuff. He's like, well, if you want to feel better, firstly, I would stop drinking the Pepsi that you're drinking. I was like, first of all, I only drink zero sugar or diet, and I only do it when I'm on the computer. This is the only Pepsi that I'm going to drink today. And I probably won't have one till Wednesday. It's just my thing. When I'm sitting at my computer, I always have a diet or a zero sugar Pepsi with me. That's it.
Pepsis aren't gonna fucking hurt you 3 a week, 2 a week. You know what I mean? We're talking people that are drinking 6-packs or cases a day. That's when it's gonna fucking be detrimental to you, right? But
I think the cigarettes and the 2 monsters that I drink are doing far more damage than a fucking zero sugar Pepsi.
100%. Those monsters are meant for you.
No, I know.
Right, so. And I still that shit. I don't even use pre-workout. You know what I mean?
Oh, I can't.
I'm black coffee guy, and water. That's all I drink. And though I'll have some orange juice once in a while. Some 100% orange juice, right? So
I love that shit, man. I hate to say it, man, but I used to love that pre-work, and I would take it dry, man. I would just dry shot, man. I'd take it before, before I was a former carpenter, right? So I'd fucking first thing in the morning in the lunchroom, man, I would fucking take a shot of that and fucking just give her all day. And it, I was bad, man. And then I would go to the gym, fucking take another shot. Like I was living off of that shit. And it was like almost like I got addicted to it, man, because it was like the coffee for me, you know? Yeah. And it was, and the flavors though that they got in the, like mine was sour keys or some shit like that, man. It was like, or Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
On my counter right now, some BCAs that are Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, man. It was like, and I just loved it. It would be, it was bad, man. It was bad. I don't know. I felt like it was almost like an addiction to it. Mm-hmm. You know, just like coffee or whatever. It was bad.
Oh yeah, well, and that's the addiction with that shit is you get used to it, and you got to take more.
Well, that's what it was, man. I was taking 2 to 3 scoops a morning, man.
Fuck, man, that's a lot. Now, did you have the stimulant stuff where it made your fucking skin crawl?
No.
Oh, so yeah, like the shit I used to take, man. Do you guys? I don't know if you weren't really into the gym scene, Eric, but Cam, do you remember Jack 3D? Did you ever take that stuff? No. It was a pre-workout.
No.
And they had to stop making it. So they still make it, but it's not the same. Like I remember this when I was like a fucking 17, 18-year-old kid. And I'm not even shitting you. You took a scoop of that stuff and it was like popping a fucking E-pill. Like I'm not even joking you. And you would get the skin crawl like your neck and your fucking hands. Well, oh my God.
That's why I never liked it, because it would make me feel like my fucking bugs are crawling over my skin.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that was like, what was it? One More Rep, I think it was called.
Yeah,
there was something.
Yeah. OMR, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that when I did a long time ago, when I was juicing it, when I was in my early 20s there. Yeah. And that's the shit I used to take, man.
It's the same stuff. Like it's not the same brand, but they were the two back then. Like the two big fucking pre-workouts was Jack 3D and One More Rep. OMR,
yeah. I used to have One More Rep.
Yeah, they still make both, but you can't. The formula or whatever is fucking different now.
There's another one, TNT, I think was. Yeah. Well, man. I think you should ask him the question.
I can ask him the question. So at the end of every episode, we always ask our guests this question. And I love when people don't do enough research and I blindside them. It happened to the guys we filmed with last night. So the question is, Cam, is what's your message to the world in one sentence? Got him.
No. Do the things you don't want to do. That's perfect. It. Get off your fucking ass and do those things that need to be done that you don't want to do.
Fuck yeah. Eventually you'll like those things. Eventually.
Sure, they'll become habit, and then you can work on some new set of fucking things.
Exactly, man.
But that's it. Then there's words I don't use. I don't use the word hope anymore. For me, I switch it out with believe, because hope is what a guy says when he's sitting on the couch and he says, I hope I win the lottery. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what do I say? You can hope in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster.
Yeah. And you know what I mean? So if you believe in yourself, go out and fucking get it. That's simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I just want to say, brother, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming on here. I appreciate, talking bullshit. And,
it's always a good time.
Yeah, buddy.
If you guys ever got a spot or you got a cancellation, let me know. I can jump back on.
Fucking would love that, man. Love that to come.
That's one. So
definitely, man. And you come back again, man. We'll bullshit
just
more.
An email, bro. Anytime, man.
Yeah. And when you get back down to BC, man, we'll definitely meet up and I'll have that drink with you, man. So
100%, boys. I love you guys.
I love you too, buddy. But yeah, no, let's do this again. Definitely, we'll bring you back on, and we'll go into a little bit deeper stuff.
When this goes up, you guys send me a link for it, will you?
100%, we will, brother.
Absolutely,
100%. So it'll be up on Friday. So whoever's listening to this right now, it'll be up on Friday at 12 a.m. So we always record Monday, and then the following Friday it drops.
Okay.
And we go for about an hour to about an hour and a half. Yeah. And right now we're sitting at 118, man. So it's pretty good.
Beautiful.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
Right
no problem. Yeah. Well, you're ahead, and even Anthony's even 3 hours ahead, so he's in the future.
It's
there.
10:30 here.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right, boys.
Well, awesome. I just want to say thank you again, man. I appreciate you coming out, and I miss you, brother. I miss you.
I miss you too. And we'll have to make a plan. Get Anthony down here.
He's coming down, man. He's coming. So he's gonna come down.
We'll need to talk about that because I'd like to be involved in that too.
Fucking right, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch.
All right,
so for anybody out there who's listening, if you want to be a guest on the show and sit where Cam's sitting and come tell your story, shoot the shit, and have a conversation with us, hit us up at rawmindspodcast@gmail.com. Check out our website at rawminds.ca. We have some resources on there if you're struggling. It's all sorts of resources. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. There's somewhere that you can get connected there. All of our episodes are there. And if you want to follow us on social media, and do us a huge favor and follow us on social media. Raw Minds. We're on all social media platforms. Our episodes drop on Fridays. They're on all streaming services, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music. Boom, there's the website down at the bottom right now. Yeah. And if you want to leave any questions, if you have any questions or comments, or you just need to scream into a void, hit us up. We're here to listen. We're here to have a conversation. We're always eternally grateful for having you guys. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Can I just, I want to give a shout out to Patty watching the whole time here. Appreciate you. Just want to give that. And sorry, my screen's, my screen's all fucked up, but we're Raw Minds, man. What you see is what you get. We still go through that bullshit. We want to be authentic as possible. So this will be, you'll see this on the normal shit. So once again, Cam, thank you, man. I love you, man. You're my brother for life, man.
Thank you, bro.
And hopefully we'll see each other pretty soon here, brother.
We will.
All right.
Take care, boys.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.